My name is Caitlin Deckner, and this is my presentation about initiatives and referendums in Arizona. So to start off, we are going to go with there we go. Kind of the basics of definitions of initiatives and referendums. So an initiative is a process that allows citizens to promote new laws or constitution amendments. And some key components of initiatives are that they are citizen driven, and they propose those laws. Sometimes signatures are required, and then it's up to voters to decide. And kind of like an example of what initiative process would look like if a group of citizens wanted to make, let's say, marijuana legal in a state that's not currently legal. They could draft an initiative, collect signatures, and then if it's successful, put that proposed law on the ballot for voters to decide to approve or reject it. And then referendum is kind of similar, but it's a process where citizens can approve or reject a law that has already been passed by legislature. And when I was looking up referendums, it showed me two different options, mandatory and optional referendums. And then some key components of referendums are that they are legislative driven, and you need public approval and sometimes signatures from citizens. A mandatory referendum, just give some background there. It is referred to specific laws or significant amendments or changes to a state that must be referred to voters before that law can take effect in that state. An optional referendum allows citizens to challenge laws that were already passed by gathering signatures and putting it on a ballot. And if there is enough signatures, that law will be suspended until voters approve or reject it. And some kind of key components of referendum. An example of a referendum process would be that if the state legislature passes a controversial law, such as increasing taxes or cutting funding to public services, they would need to place that law on a ballot, and then citizens would approve or reject. So now we're going to go kind of onto the creation of initiatives and referendums. So when the progressive movement in the late 19th, 20th century happened, they wanted to expand democratic participation to reduce political corruption. And a major influence of this was direct democracy. And this direct democracy through the progressive movement allowed citizens to propose new laws, which are initiatives, and approve or reject laws passed by legislature through voting, which is our referendums. And the influence of direct democracy in this movement helped lead shifting power away from political elites and their special interests to giving citizens more control. And some comparisons of initiatives and referendums, because they are similar processes. They both have a process where citizens can potentially change laws. It also gives them a greater voice, so they can be heard from the state. And then they're both forms of democracy. Some differences that they have, and yes, they are similar, but most things have differences. And here's kind of like a breakdown between the two for their differences with who initiates it. For both of them, initiatives is initiated by citizens, and referendums are initiated by legislature. And their purposes are a little bit different because the purpose of initiatives is to create or amend laws. And the purpose of referendums are to approve or reject existing laws. Their processes are a little different. for initiatives. They collect signatures and then it's placed on a ballot to vote on. The process, citizens, they find these laws that were approved by legislature, and then they approve or reject them. And then for who has the power to decide, initiatives are citizens and referendums are more legislature based for power. And then outcomes are a little bit different on both sides. For initiatives, the outcome, if they vote in favor, then it is part of law. For referendums, if it's approved, the law is passed. If it is rejected, the law is not enacted. And then our rows of initiatives and referendums. Initiatives have direct empowerment of citizens. They are able to bypass legislative gridlocks, encourage political engagement, and allow for policy innovation. Referendums, they are able to check on legislative actions. They are able to promote accountability through elected officials and can prevent and so that laws are not harmful when they take effect. Sorry. And then they enhance the legitimacy of passing laws being passed by referendums. And some differences that they share are initiatives have potential for misleading campaigns. Complexity of issues can confuse voters. It can create fragmented laws and lead to unintended consequences. Some cons of referendums, they are driven by short-term popular sentiment. They are subject to manipulation. Voters can get voter fatigue from frequent referendums they have to vote on, and it can deepen political polarization. And then direct democracy initiatives and referendums help achieve direct democracy for Arizona by having citizens become empowered to directly propose new laws and reject those that are passed by legislature. This ensures greater public involvement, more accountability for officials, and control over the political process. This allows Arizona voters to have direct say in shaping state laws and policies, which reinforce democratic principles. And then these are my references. Thank you.